Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Juliet, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. Before I pass it over, let me cover a few housekeeping items. At the bottom of your screen are multiple engagement tools you can use. All tools are resizable and movable, so feel free to move them around to get the most out of your desktop space. You can expand your presentation area or maximize it to full screen by clicking on the arrows in the top right corner. If you have any audio or video issues, you can find answers to some common technical issues located in the help widget at the bottom of your screen. Please note that a copy of today's slide deck and additional resources are available in the resource list. Please have a look and download everything that you may find useful. Also, the webinar will be recorded and sent via the email you registered with. Lastly, if you have any questions during the presentation, you can submit them through the Q&A widget. We're here to answer you live via the chat, so don't hesitate to reach out throughout the presentation. Now, I'd like to introduce our speakers. Today, we're joined by Patrick Garman. As the solutions lead for the consumer electronics industry, Patrick oversees product solutions and professional services tailored to the needs of the industrial and consumer electronics sectors and works with Jama Connect customers across the organization to optimize requirements management practices that help innovators to succeed. Patrick brings over 10 years of product development experience to Jama Software and has led teams to launch successful products across industries. We are also joined by Yannick Selch. He is a senior solutions architect at Jama Software, supporting industrial manufacturing and consumer electronic customers. With a background in engineering and business psychology and prior consulting experience at PTC, PLM, and Capgemini, he helps teams streamline complex product development through systems thinking and live traceability. And with that, I'll pass it over to you, Patrick.
Thanks, Juliet. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for today's session, Agile, Compliant, Competitive, Fast-Tracking Consumer Electronics Innovation. I'm Patrick Garman, and I manage professional solutions for consumer electronics here at Jama Software. I'm excited to be joined today by my colleague, Yannick Selg, one of our senior solutions architects. Together, we'll explore what it takes to succeed in the fast-paced, high-stakes world of consumer electronics development. The consumer electronics industry is one of the most dynamic out there, driven by innovation, defined by short life cycles, and shaped by intense competition. A must-have device today can become obsolete in a matter of months. This creates enormous pressure, not just to innovate, but to deliver quickly and get it right the first time. And development is no longer linear. It's fast-paced, global, and layered. And while speed to market is essential, navigating the increasingly complex regulatory environment is just as critical. The bar for compliance isn't just higher, it's shifting under our feet. So here's how we're going to break this down today. First, we'll explore how rapid innovation is reshaping development cycles and how teams can keep up without burning out. Then, we'll examine the regulatory landscape and what it takes to build compliance into your development process from the start. Next, we'll look at the challenge of maintaining quality and compliance while accelerating delivery. We'll share practical strategies and tools to help your teams move faster without compromising rigor, including how Jama Connect supports modular design, regulatory traceability, and smarter collaboration. Finally, Yannick will provide a live demo of Jama Connect, showing how our platform streamlines and accelerates your product development process without sacrificing quality. If there's one message to take away today, it's this. Innovation is not just about what's new, it's about navigating complexity with confidence. Developing innovative consumer electronics is difficult, even under the best conditions. These products are incredibly complex. Even in a stable environment, managing requirements across disciplines, hardware, software, UX, compliance, is challenging. But in reality, we're rarely working in a stable environment. We are constantly navigating shifting market trends, emerging technologies, global supply chain fluctuations, and evolving regulations. Add in social and geopolitical disruptions, and it's no surprise that teams often find themselves tripping over their own processes, not due to a lack of talent or effort, but because the complexity outpaces the tools they're using to manage it. Here's what we often hear from customers before they adopt Jama Connect. Things like, we keep building the wrong thing because requirements weren't clear or accessible. Or engineering is out of sync with compliance. Or we didn't realize we missed a requirement until testing, or worse, after launch. Sound familiar? These are not just anecdotes, these are measurable pain points. 62% of companies have been reprimanded or fined by regulatory agencies. 83% of design teams cite immature requirements management as the root cause of project failures. And roughly 1/3 of a typical product development budget is spent on unplanned work, things like rework, defect resolution, or scrambling to address gaps that could have been caught earlier. And here's the bottom line. A 6-month delay can result in a 33% loss in potential revenue. That's not just a product issue, that's a business issue. The takeaway is clear. Without a structured, collaborative requirements management approach, you're not just risking quality, you're risking profitability, compliance, and your speed to market. Let's start with the simple truth. Speed matters. If you're late to market, even by a few months, you've already lost ground, lost revenue, lost mind share, and lost relevance. But here's the challenge. Today's breakthrough is tomorrow's baseline. Innovation doesn't slow down. The pressure to stay ahead pushes teams to take risks and move fast. But fast alone is not enough. Today's development isn't clean or sequential. It's global, concurrent, and complex. Hardware might be built in one country, software in another, with compliance teams spread across all time zones. All of that coordination has to happen in real time. Meanwhile, regulations might evolve mid-cycle. A product that met requirements at design freeze may fall out of compliance before it ships. That finish line keeps moving. So yes, fast is good, but flawless is better. Success means not just getting to market, but getting there with a product that meets expectations across the board, technical, legal, and consumer. That's what we'll unpack throughout this session. How to balance agility with accuracy and move quickly without breaking things. We're developing products in a world where innovation is constant and accelerating. AI, automation, personalization, these aren't high-end features anymore. They are expected. Devices are no longer isolated. They're connected, adaptive, and increasingly intelligent. This raises the bar and the complexity. Development cycles are now parallel, not sequential. Hardware, firmware, AI models, mobile apps, supplier planning, everything is happening at once and feeding into each other. The only way to manage this pace is with agile, cross-functional workflows. Compatibility is another hurdle. Whether it's Matter, Alexa, Google Home, your product must play nicely in a connected ecosystem. Standards like USB-C don't just reflect technical choices, they reflect regulatory pressure and consumer expectations. And it's not just technology that's shifting. The market itself is transforming. Boundaries between industries are disappearing. A fitness tracker is now a health monitor and a social device. Do self-driving cars belong to the automotive industry or consumer electronics? That blurring of categories brings new competition and new risk. Add to this geopolitical disruption, chip shortages, trade regulations, and you're not just designing for performance, you're designing for resilience. The takeaway? Speed still wins, but only when it's paired with flexibility. It's time to stop asking how fast can we ship and start asking how well can we adapt. Of course, building great products is hard. Making them legal, safe, and certifiable, even harder. Regulatory complexity isn't just growing, it's fragmenting. Every region brings a different rulebook. Europe has CE marking, ROHS, REACH, and the WE Directive. And now, the Cyber Resilience Act and AI Act are adding new layers of cybersecurity and transparency expectations. The US is more decentralized. The FCC rules govern emissions, UL handles safety, and states like California are adding laws like CCPA that impact product labeling and data handling. China requires CCC certification, local testing, cybersecurity reviews, and strict data localization policies.